everybody, Dr. Rob
All
Silverman
right.
here. I'm excited because I've got chef extraordinaire, herbalist, nutritionalist, and she's going to basically tell you how to eat healthy, Lisa Piper. Lisa, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well,
Excited to be here.
it was really funny. I was down in the Houston area and I left my food and we're Googling
Oh,
and I'm teaching at Texas Chiropractic College. And I said, I've got to have some organic food. I've got to have something healthy. And you were 17 miles away and well worth the
oh,
drive. Even though I came back 20
that's
minutes late
great.
to class, I brought a bunch of the docs with me and we had this great meal. But more than a great meal, here's Lisa, who's giving me this tremendously tasty meal, but explaining the ingredients and why they're good, not knowing, my background and everything like that. Not that I knew every herb and everything like that. We're going to cover that. But, giving me her insights on diet and things of that nature. So I said, you've got to pop on. You got to pop on immediately. You got to share this with everybody. What is the diet or the best diet that you promote for your clients and your patrons?
So I have always lived just naturally by this diet and refined it, but I call it the intuitive diet. And basically, what that means is you take 30 days and you eat whole foods, ingredients, nothing from a box, a can, a jar, actual ingredients closest to its natural form for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, your body automatically knows how to communicate better with you and guide you on what to eat for yourself in that situation. So it may look something like this. All of a sudden, you're craving oranges and strawberries and spinach, and then the next day you get a cold. And you realize, oh, my body was telling me to load up on vitamin C. Got it. You just listen to your body, right? And that really seems to be so much better. The one part that I add to that is to get rid of labels. So food labels don't really serve us so much. Like I eat vegan, I eat carnivore, I eat paleo. Instead, you simply let your body guide you when you eat clean. Then you'll go wherever your body needs you to go. That's the most important thing.
I love it. So intuitive. So first 30 days, you get rid of all ultra processed food, if you will, and then your
Yeah.
body's going to tell you what to eat.
Yeah, it's really uses some basics of understanding nature. So you understand the basics of fruit isn't so good, too much salt, not good, too much sugar, not good, then your body will be able to communicate and you'll understand better. So you're craving the things you need. Oh, I'm craving beets, I need iron. But it also might look like, oh, I'm craving sugar. Why? If I know it's not right, something's off. Maybe there's candida, maybe there's parasites. Body's still communicating.
Isn't that great? The body's communicating because I've always said the body's an interconnected system, and I believe all about the gut axis, which you're alluding to. But I think that's
Yes.
great, and you're right. If you have candida, you're going to want a lot of sugar. It was funny. We were
Yep.
having our second meal there because we drove back for dinner.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have to use an Uber driver. One of the docs had to rent a car, and
Yeah.
I said to you, look, I don't eat a lot of carbs late at night, and I did that deliberately because I wanted to see what you said. And you're like, look, the ingredients are authentic, they're organic, so you
Yep.
don't have to worry about the calories. It's the nutrients and the body's
Exactly.
going to talk to itself. And that was great.
Yep.
That was a medicinal
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. And that's how food is and can be medicinal.
I got here that my wife is a food aficionado. She's a great chef. So when I bring her there, you can put her to work. We'll negotiate later.
Yes.
But within that, she watches all the food and the chef shows. And you were a
Mm,
contestant on Food Network's Guys Grocery Games. So
yeah.
tell me a bit about that. Everybody's going to love to hear that story.
It's interesting. I had a friend tell me, oh, they're doing this food contest of how you can take comfort foods and make them healthy. I think you'd be great. Apply. So it was a phone call here, interview, another phone call interview. The third interview is when I found out it was for Food Network. I had no idea. I had no idea. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what I do with food is very different. And they actually said, yeah, we know, we like that. And I went through 11 interviews. And at first I was nervous when I found out it was Food Network. So interview 3, 4, and 5, I was like, oh my God. By 6, I was like, oh, they're not going to pick me because I'm so unique and healthy. And I don't know, they'll like that. And then I was so relaxed. I just was authentic enough. They went, yep, let's do it. And when they told me, here's your ticket, you're going, I went, oh, okay. well, I'm going to do my thing and I'm not apologizing for it. And I did. It was
Great.
so much fun. It was really more about okay, lining up the people and saying, what are you here for? What are you here for? Guy puts us at 4 a.m. Okay, why are you here? Why are you here? And I literally told him, hey, look, I listen to people saying, I've got a Michelin star. I've got 3 executive chefs of 3 restaurants in big places. And they got to me and said, hi, I'm the preschooler here for the college grad exam. And I'm here to just have fun, challenge myself, and do what I do with food. And he stopped everyone. He said, that we know you can all cook. That's why you're here. Go have fun. So I did. And I just had so much fun with it. It was hard. It was challenging, but fun. Uh,
So let me ask you, because everybody's going to want to know, what'd you cook?
So the first thing Guy did is say, go make burgers with no meat, no bread, no buns, no burgers and fries, and no potatoes. And I went, oh, I do this all day long. This is great. I can do that. And I just created on the fly our black bean burger, the Tex-Mex black bean burger, which I love, and all gluten-free. I put it together with avocado, Tex-Mex flavors, and I used actually yucca root for fries, and I baked them. They didn't think I'd do it in 20 minutes. You got 30 minutes. I baked them. Perfect. It was a lot of fun. They loved it. The second thing I made was lasagna, and I made it with walnut meat for the meat, and Guy could not stop eating it. He was like, this is so good. And I had to tell him, leave some, please, for the judges. But it was so much fun. Yeah.
So let me get into that because, again, my wife cooks a lot. You had said that, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder, that you use a lot of coconut aminos, which she uses also, really
Yeah.
makes it taste good because I when I came back for dinner, I had a meatless meat and it really tasted like meat. It was like a
Yeah.
taco.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. So one, can you tell me the little secret sauce without giving your whole game away of how you do it? And number two, tell everybody what yuca is.
So I like to cook with foods that are anti-inflammatory. I go with the clean, nutrient-dense foods. So I'm automatically getting rid of the gluten, the dairy, the soy, the corn, the cane sugar, and that's where I start. So from that place, when I'm making a vegan meatless meat, our taco meat is actually made of pecans and sunflower seeds, and it's all in how you flavor it. So I choose coconut aminos instead of soy, and it has more for your body. It really does help the brain. It helps with other things. And then it's all about seasoning. The garlic comes in, a little paprika, a little bit of onion. It's flavoring it because that's what it's all about. A little turmeric. Now we're anti-inflammatory and we're going for healing. And then you have something that tastes good and is good for the body. Yucca root, I love using instead of French fries because this is basically like from the cassava plant. And it's a better than potato starch that has lower glycemic index. That means it's not as hard on the body. It's going to be better for blood sugar and not spike it. Instead, it's going to help, and it actually helps with digestion.
Outstanding. Now, I'm going to admit to everybody, I am a gluten-free muffin fan. Love
Mm,
them. It's my thing. If
yeah.
it's my stress food, it's my Sunday cheat food, if you will. You had a pumpkin chocolate muffin that was out of this world. I called my wife and I said, I'm going to steal one because I want that last one because she said it's reserved for somebody. So we're going to get you to leave some recipes in the bottom in the show notes. But if you could
Yeah.
share that one with everybody, I guarantee you're going to get a lot of love.
So the exact recipe will get to you. It's basically using whole foods, right? So this is going to be actual pumpkin puree, not anything strange. It's actual cacao for the chocolate. And then the gluten-free oat flour, tapioca for your starch, a little bit of arrowroot. It's really the balance of it all. Putting in extra vanilla brings up the sweetness without the glycemic index. So that goes in there with a little bit of maple syrup. And that way we're keeping it cane sugar free. And we're able with the vanilla to not have to use as much maple syrup in there. And then, of course, all the pumpkin spice flavorings of, cinnamon, nutmeg. It's so good together. And also because it's gluten free, it's more filling. So you eat less and get fuller faster while still having a nice little cheat.
It was great. It wasn't a cheat. It's good ingredients because I didn't
Yes,
get
it is.
justification. I don't want to feel guilty. Um,
Exactly.
it's interesting when you walk into establishment like you have, I always take note of the patrons. And everybody was fit looking, thin. You had not your typical American. And in Texas, also, some areas there, yeah, are a little bit more bulky, husky, if you will.
Yes.
However, the one knock, which you need to help everybody get over, they talk about, well, there's just not enough protein to put muscle on. What sources do you use to enrich the meals with some protein?
So we're very intentional about that to make sure that everyone's getting the protein they need. My favorite protein go-tos for vegan options or options that are meat-free are mushrooms of different types. I even include the medicinal ones. We've got lion's manes and reishi and chaga. We put those in there. Lion's mane's amazing for the brain, cordyceps, focus, reishi, immune system. But you also get protein from them. And then we also use some sea veggies in there to make sure that we've got a little bit of our, maybe some sea moss, a little bit of kelp, a little bit of dulce. And then my favorite is using nuts and seeds. So we work with raw nuts and seeds to soak them and then bring out the most enzymes so they're digested better and easily absorbed, but really good protein and fat. And then I love to add a superfood from the rainforest called sacha inchi. It's got 67% of your daily protein in 1 tablespoon. That's amazing because it also helps with joint pain, inflammation. It has side benefits, and I like that.
Good food is health
Yeah,
information. I've said bad food is inflammation. Now, what's
absolutely.
interesting is that you talked about mushrooms and all these foods being immuno supportive, immunorejuvenative. It's interesting because now there's a new term called immunometabolic, or for the immune system affects the metabolism in a positive
Yeah.
health way. So you're metabolizing and digesting all your protein grams. So you may not need to consume as much because
Yes.
of the nutrients. And, turning on those health signals also is enabling you to absorb those protein grams, the key macronutrient. Um,
Yes.
Look, it's obvious that you have a passion. When I met you, it was effervescent, if you will. It was there. I was
Yes.
attracted to it. And
Yes.
I knew there was something there. It wasn't just I own a store and I sell some herbs. There was a
Oh,
passion.
yeah.
There was a story. So, what's your story and what drove you here?
So, we all go through our own journeys with food and health because most of us in America start with usually some bad habits or influences, whether it's home or social out there, it's there. And I had to learn my own way that I was having problems with my immune system. I was having problems with digestion, depression, anxiety that I could felt chemical in my body like something was off. And after going to having labs and tests done, I realized I found for myself, I think it's celiac disease, and I think I need to make some changes. So I went, had testing done. I was right. As soon as I found that, I realized, wow, the power of food can be so healing. So I went from being in my 30s, feeling like I had the body of an 80-year-old with arthritis and couldn't walk up and down the stairs, to immediately changing where I had more energy. I could feel like I could conquer the world. I was better at going back to hiking and walking and the things that I would do. I had so much more fun. My brain was on. I felt it. I felt the depression lifted completely. And I couldn't believe just shifting away, not just from gluten. I went away from the inflammatory foods. And it was amazing. That snowballed to what else can food heal? And then I went right down that path of learning everything I could.
Fascinating. Celiac disease is an issue with the gut. As we all know, you are not allergic, but you're having an autoimmune reaction to the protein in gluten. And we all know about the gut to brain axis and mental issues
Yes.
and depression. I work for a food sensitivity company. And interestingly enough, there was an IRB study. And in that IRB study, you would have thought that bloating and brain fog would have been number one on the list of symptoms to abate when you
Mm,
remove the foods. It was number two, it was right up there. Number one, mental health, depression,
yes.
personality changes. So it's amazing how intuitively you added things to your body and took a lot of things out, and you got to the horizon, if you will. That's great because it's obvious, people, and I say this almost every week, people who are in our like aligned field, if you will, all have a story and there's a reason.
Yeah.
And, I like everybody always to share their why. As Mark Twain once said, two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you know why. So it's
Ah,
you found your why.
yes.
Let me ask you a basic question. I wrote this down. How does someone start changing their diet habits? Because diet is a habit.
It is. It is completely about what we put in place for ourselves. I always tell people when you start to do this, it's a transition, it's a food journey. And so, journeying to health is really about the mindset first. This is a journey, it's not black or white. I am transitioning to something more supportive for my body, my health. When you approach it that way, it makes it easier. So, immediately, I always look at what are my yes foods? If I'm looking at taking away the inflammatory foods, what can I eat? So I tell people it's about substitution and not deprivation.
Great.
That means build that yes list. What foods can I eat? I tell people take your favorite dish, spaghetti, pizza, it doesn't matter. Find 5 ways you can have it after taking out the inflammatory foods. So no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no corn, no cane sugar. When you're done with that, how can you have pizza? How can you have spaghetti? And I love helping people build that yes list so they feel like, oh, I can do this. You just take your basic favorite foods, find the way you can have them, build a 2-week menu for yourself that you can rotate, and it makes it so much more doable. And you feel better as you go, and you're motivated.
I love it. It's about substitutions, not deprivation. Because here we sit in a nutritional consult and they're like, I can't eat gluten, I can't eat dairy. There's nothing in this world to consume. You mean I can't have red meat? Oh my
Yes,
God, you suck. I'm
right.
leaving. It's fabulous point that you make.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is not only the person's reaction, where do they find the new foods?
Mm,
Where are the recipes? Which foods to
yeah.
align? So, you made a good point. No gluten, no dairy. I think no shrimp, things of that nature.
Right.
I'm in accordance with you. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to play rapid fire now. Let's play games.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So you give me the answer. You took gluten away from me. How do I make a sandwich?
Oh, can you use lettuce? Can you find a pita? How about a pumpkin seed tortilla? How about looking at something that's a little more supportive that has no grains like almond flour, coconut flour? I can try oat flour, rice, but not too much. There's so much you can do there for substitutions and get creative. It's fun.
I love it. Dairy. Okay, forget the milk. I'm okay with the milk. You take cheese away from me. Come on.
Oh, you can make dairy your own self. We make sour cream out of cashews. We make enchilada cheese out of Brazil nuts. We actually use pumpkin seeds and make a great pepper jack cheese. You can actually use nutritional yeast if your body allows you to use that. It is so many different things you can use for a substitution. You will not miss it. You will be surprised. I actually use for butter, sometimes I use a fermented coconut oil. So now I'm getting something good for my brains and omega 3s in there, and it tastes like butter.
You brought it up, oils. I heard that corn and coconut oil, I may not be able to use. These vegetable oils are kind of negative. What would you want to cook with?
So often people forget they can cook with water. They forget that. You can actually literally take water and put your spices in a pan and braise it, and you're just infusing all these spices in there. You can also steam, but if you do go and cook and saute and you need some oil in there because some foods do better with a fat extraction, then you might use avocado oil, olive oil if you're not doing too high of a heat. I do work with coconut oil. It's good for the brain, depends on your body. So these are my preferences when I go to do that and I need that fat in there.
Coconut oil, without question, has medium chain triglycerides. C8, C10 are just bursting with energy for the brain.
Yes.
Lauric acid, not as much. Great
Right.
option. Avocado oil, really good option. Again, extra
Yeah.
virgin olive oil, not over 140 degrees.
right?
Really good hack. I wrote this down. What do you tell someone when you're trying to get them off sugar? Because sugar is a drug. It works
Mm,
with the reward
yeah.
center in your brain. People almost start going like this. They're like, oh my God, you're taking sugar away. What do I do? Help me out here, Lee.
Yes, so there's a lot of great ways to get off of sugar. And I love this. I usually tell people to start when they want to jump start with a juice cleanse for just 3 to 5 days of at least 80% vegetables. And that way it cleanses the palate. Then I teach them to transition it, go from cane sugar to coconut sugar. Let's work with that. You're doing okay? Great. Now let's go from coconut sugar to either honey or maple syrup. Now we're really getting creative because it's a liquid in our, in what we're doing, but we can do it. Then go from that to dates and fruit. When you get to dates and fruit, now you've added the fiber back in. You're not going to have the glucose spike in the body. Your body's not going to immediately go, whoa, I can't use all this, so can't use it for fuel, let's dump it. And then your pancreas goes crazy. Instead, your body will slowly digest it and you'll get to keep all those vitamins, nutrients the brain uses, the glucose.
I had a pumpkin latte when I was in your establishment.
Yeah.
Delicious. Interesting. Great stuff. Patients usually complain. I work a lot of hours. I work really hard. I don't have time to eat healthy.
I love when people tell me they don't have time to eat healthy or whole foods because then I go, ooh, take notes. Let's do these things. If you will allow yourself like an hour after you get home from grocery shopping, take 1 hour and prep all your veggies. So that means I take carrots and I cut them in sticks, celeries in sticks. They're in water. I take some and I make them chopped fine so I can cook them later. It's all in a container. Then I take my onion, my garlic, I put that in everything. And I will literally chop some and do some rings and I have them all ready to go. So this is one time cut up, one knife, one cutting board, one time cleanup. In 1 hour, you can literally prep everything for the whole week so that you literally go in and take an hour-long meal and cook it in less than 15 minutes, way
Wow.
faster. The other thing I do is teach bulk cooking. If you're going to cook something you like, do it times 3. It's one meal now, one meal 2 days from now or the next day, and one to freeze. When you're tired, that freezer's full with the really good fast food, right? And then, of course, it's easy. My favorite thing is to have a party. I literally will tell people, get your friends, get some crock pots, come together for 4 hours, and listen to music, laugh, tell stories, cook, divide the food out. Everybody's family gets to eat for several days and you had fun.
And you know what else? What you just said, it's great for family. Like my wife cooks. She lets me help her, would help her stand there. I'm not allowed to touch anything because if I do, it's a danger zone. Could be a cataclysmic event. That said, interestingly enough, you're also going to save a lot of money, and health is wealth.
Oh,
So
yeah.
another big question, Lisa. I like eggs in the morning. And as you know, eggs are a high allergy food. They're a superfood, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
However, they're not on the vegan food list. What can I do to substitute? I want to have my eggs in the morning for breakfast.
So you want to make sure you're getting the protein in there because that's what you're also after. And so you look at your protein source. So whether that's going to be something from nuts, seeds, mushrooms are a great favorite for me. I will do a little trick sometimes where I'll take garbanzo bean flour and black sea salt, and it tastes like eggs, and it looks like scrambled eggs. It's amazing, and you've added some protein in there. I also sometimes will do a flax egg or a chia seed egg. Soak those seeds in water and they act like egg as a binder in things. So there are a lot of options to avoid egg and still get what you're looking for.
Outstanding. I love that as an option. Is it the egg that I like, or is it the idea and the consistency of something like an egg? But yeah, you do want to be able to get the protein. I agree, especially
Yeah.
protein in the morning. Now, you're the owner and founder of Natural Living Organic Food Co-op and Cafe. Could you tell me your 3 biggest sellers?
Oh, so we have quite a few things on our shelves that we do. We have a cafe, a grocery store, an apothecary. So the top things that we sell a lot of our cafe meats and cheeses to go, like our sour cream, number one, made out of cashews. We sell a lot of that. In our apothecary, We make in-house our own mushroom blend, medicinal mushroom blend. We call it the Great Eight. We put the 8 most healing mushrooms, and we sell so much of that and teach people how to get better absorption with that. Add it with your tea tannins, your coffee tannins, put it in a smoothie, do it that way. And then also in our grocery store, we really sell a lot of superfoods. It is hard to pinpoint one, but these are superfoods from the rainforest. These are not your normal superfoods. So these are way more nutrient dense. And I'm going to lump that into one category because we sell a lot of those.
So let's do it. What are your top 7 superfoods, young lady?
I love teaching people to use rainforest superfoods because they're more nutrient dense. Obviously, the rainforest has all the nutrients that we don't quite have in our soil here in the US. My number one's not in any particular order, but I would say acai. Acai is a great antioxidant, anti-cancer. It's going to give you longevity. I like maki berry. Maki berry is actually good for digestion, eye support, antioxidants. It's going to give you longevity as well and immune support. I like camu powder. This is the highest vitamin C food that we have. It is great for iron absorption, and it's amazing antiviral. You will not believe how well it works for things that you can't usually catch. Goji berry is my next favorite. That's a longevity food and antioxidant we've known about for a long time in anti-cancer. Then I'm going to go with goldenberry. This one is an adaptogen, adapts to the stressors we put on our body, helps to rebalance some of that depression, helps with digestion, helps with immune building, and lowers cholesterol. I like that one. Then I would go for mangosteen. Mangosteen is one people don't always know, but it is amazing for antihistamine. Histamines cause a lot of inflammation in the body we're not always aware of. It helps with acne. It helps with digestion, immune support. So many things there. Then I think I would go with baobab. Another one people aren't always familiar with, but this one helps. It's high vitamin C, so it's going to help with iron absorption, helps support the liver and digestion and absorption. Anything that gives us better absorption in the gut, I'm a fan.
Here, forsooth, for sure. I have to say that we went over the list, and and we're very familiar with superfoods. Now, acai, everybody knows they're in the they're in the New York City airports. Anything with a berry, people think is good, especially goji berries, golden berries. But 2 of the 3, mangosteen, I think people know, but the other 2. Those are going to be new. Those are going to be real breakthroughs. And it just shows how you are on the cutting edge. Now, another thing that your business does is you're 100% non-GMO. Why is non-GMO so important? Please tell everybody.
GMOs get read by our body as a foreign substance. So that means body does not recognize it as food from nature. It's been altered. That means the body thinks it has to attack it as something like a germ. So this turns on autoimmune disorders. It wrecks digestion because it just kills the gut. It makes allergic responses happen because now everything in the gut is off. Absorption is now blocked in the gut. It literally changes gene expression so that it causes metabolic problems. Now you've got some cancer GMOs. This is why we are dedicated to teaching people steer away from foods that are GMO, look for non-GMO, look for something from nature. Organic is going to help avoid that. It's really important to start their body off that way.
It's funny, GMO, genetically modified organism. Probably the first one that comes to my mind is gluten when they hybridized it.
Yep,
absolutely. And I agree. You're taking in a food that your body's not used to seeing, and it confuses its signaling. So the immune system's interesting in there's 2 buttons. There's self and foreign. And the body takes a look at this and presses foreign, and then it starts to get confused between structures in your body and attacks that, and that's what we call autoimmunity. So at the top of my list, obviously, it's no ultra-processed foods. I know you agree with that. But GMOs, they are a non-starter in my mind. I think they are maybe veins of our health and food existence. Now, you talked about organic. Hey, guys, Dr. Rob, Lisa, is organic really worth the money?
I hear this question all the time. Is organic worth the money? Absolutely. Why? Well, first of all, we're going to avoid all the toxins that are going to turn on diseases, that are going to overtax your support system, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys. It's also going to avoid cancers. That's important. But also, there have been a lot of studies to show you get more nutrients from organic because the soil has more. The absorption in the body is turned on better. You get more vitamins, more minerals, better absorption. I think they've done studies where literally just across the line, if you looked at, let's say, eggs or spinach, you get 40% more vitamin A. You get at least 2 times the amount of your vitamin E. Vitamin D can go up to 5 times the amount, depending on the time of year you're harvesting this. So you get more bang for your buck. Literally, when your body gets what it needs, it is then satiated and signals you, okay, I'm done eating. You'll literally eat less because you've trained your body. I got what I need and I'm done.
Well, let's go back to your intuitive diet. So I hear the carnivores here. I hear the phytonutrient plant people here, and they scream and rant and rave. I don't want everybody to think that you're just plant-based. Well,
Oh, yeah.
you are plant-forward. Plant-based means you eat nothing but plants. Plant-forward means you incorporate a large number of plants to utilize as your meals. So would you have a steak? Grass-fed, of course. Would you have wild salmon? Would you have an egg?
Yes. Yeah. So intuitive diet means listening to your body. And I teach that while getting rid of labels, which means when your body says, hey, I think I need some salmon, you can go, yes, okay, I'll eat that. I must need the omega-3s. There must be something in there my body says it needs, and I can't get it from anything else. Absolutely. My body has been gravitated for years for plant-based. That's where I thrive the most with the most energy for a very long time. And then I had an interesting event happened with my family. We bought a house, didn't know it was full of toxic mold, black mold. And immediately my body started telling me, go eat meats. And they were interesting things. It was like, go eat some elk. You need some wild boar. You need some salmon and tuna. And I just said, okay, that's what I need. Then I discovered the black mold and went, oh, that is why my body is telling me, signaling me, go eat animal fat, because animal fat is the only way to go and dilute mycotoxin poisoning in the body till you can go in, kill it off, and take it out. So my body was helping me dilute the symptoms and telling me something's off, go fix it. This is why I teach people, eat what your body tells you. So yes, absolutely. And my body says eat meat, I say, okay, let's go. And it's grass-fed, it's organic, it's free range. I'm very picky about that. Wild caught, yes.
Outstanding. And of course, people are going to say, well, my body said I wanted like 6 bags of potato chips. You're going to say, well, there's a better option than potato chips, and you need that 30-day clean out.
Yes.
People eat because they're stressed. They have anxiety. Stress and anxiety, mood disorders, if you will, are elevated now. We have an election. I was sitting next to one person, wanted to vote on one side, one on the other, and this crossfire, not crosstalk, was unbelievable. So stress and anxiety are elevated. What herbs do you recommend, or what are your favorite herbs for stress and anxiety?
So I have several herbs I really like to recommend for stress and anxiety. And these are herbs that you can take during the daytime, and it's not going to put you to sleep. I really like holy basil. So this one's known as an adaptogen to adapt to the stressors on your body, help reduce anxiety. It also does a lot of other things to help the liver support and other things. It's very good during the day. I like lemon balm. As long as you don't have a thyroid issue of Hashimoto's, then lemon balm is an amazing, I call it nature's volume. It really chills you out. And it's an antiviral. That's a win. I also like using ashwagandha. This is one that needs a fat with it. So my go-to is coconut milk, but any fat will go with it. This is also an adaptogen, adapts to the stressors you're putting on your body. This really helps to build muscle mass and helps your body rebalance some things that can cause problems with insomnia. So I like that one. I also like passion flower, actually. Passion flower is one of those that helps with PTSD. It really helps you to chill out a bit, relax, and not necessarily put you to sleep, but help your mind to be quiet more. so that you can sleep and it's not ruminating and going off. There are a lot of other herbs that I like for anti-anxieties in there that I will go to. My number one thing I tell people is rotate your favorite stress relieving herbs. That way, they will always work for you, not just a one off for a week or two or a month in a row. So, that's the important part, I think, is for people to get to know the different herbs. And when they rotate them, they find out what works best for them.
Great conversation with the herbs. So a good friend of mine, he's kind enough to take the time out of his busy schedule. I'll cue him up, Dr. Robbins, and he's always like, okay, great stuff. Lisa, I need 5 things in a list to do that I can apply tomorrow to give me better health and to change my life. You've got 90 seconds or less. Go for it.
5 things to boost your health overnight. I'm going to go with turmeric right away because it is a powerhouse. Adding that fat and black pepper will help it with get rid of inflammation, help with digestion, help your body to literally rebalance blood sugar, so many things. The other thing is I'm going to tell you to actually incorporate more things in the body that detoxify the liver. This is going to be your milk thistle dandelion right in there. Why? Liver needs to work well. It's your filter in your body. When it's working well, the rest of the body is humming. No matter what you put at it, it's good. My next thing I'm going to tell you actually will be ferments. If you can add some ferments in your body, you are going to help your gut, which then supports the brain, right? The gut-brain connection. So now you're going to actually be your first defense of anything that comes your way for immune problems and colds and flu. Anything that comes your way is now doesn't have a chance because the gut's going to get rid of it. My favorite's going to be sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented veggies. Kombucha is great as long as you're making it yourself or you know there's not sugar added. That's a key there. Kefir water, same thing. So these are my favorite things to play with. I also really like apple cider vinegar, and I do some infusions with it. I will make fire cider. This is infused apple cider vinegar with all the key players that help the immune system turn on and do its job and modulate. So this is going to be garlic, ginger, turmeric, onion, horseradish, cayenne, jalapeno. Infusing that in apple cider vinegar, which naturally brings the body to an acidic state and is anti-inflammatory, does so many healing things in your body. Blood sugar, blood pressure, all the key things. These are the things that I would focus on as just a jump start, in addition to the basics of changing diet and getting rid of sugar.
Wow. I think he's got an action-packed starting point for tomorrow. I'll let you know how quick he implements it because nobody implements better than my good friend.
Nice.
Lisa, this was great. I wish you a lot of luck in Natural Living Organic Food Co-op and Cafe. I'll be back next month.
Nice.
Get it ready. But do me a
Yeah.
favor. Can I please have the pizza? I'm a Jewish
Yes.
guy from New York City. You know, Ray's
Yes.
pizza is the greatest. So can you get me the pizza?
Absolutely. We've got it going, and our cashew cheese will be ready. Don't worry. We got it all set. Yep.
Thanks for taking time. I know it's almost lunchtime where you are. I appreciate the few minutes, the great takeaways, the salient points. Look forward to seeing you next month on November 23rd and 24th. I will
Nice.
see you there. Everybody, Dr. Rob Silverman, Lisa Piper, Proven Health Alternatives.
Thank you.